Alright guys, so while I'm canning up the bratwurst and the Italian sausage, I'm also going to can up a batch of peaches. I'm going to water bath can those in a light syrup. So I already sterilized my jars, and now I'm going to begin the process of peeling the peaches, which we will submerge them in boiling water, drop them in an ice bath, and then peel away. We'll be back with some peeled peaches. Alright, so we have all of our peaches peeled now. I'm going to be hot packing them. So what I'm going to do is slice them up into pieces and then prepare the sugar syrup, and then we'll throw them into the syrup and let them cook for a few minutes before we put them into the jar. Hard packing or hot packing, is recommended for long-term storage. So instead of cold packing, we're going to try the hot pack. Alright, so we have all our peaches cut up. And now I have the sugar and water boiling on the stove. So I'm going to pour the peaches in and let them boil for 1 to 2 minutes. And then we'll pack the jars. Alright, so we have all our peaches cut up. And now I have the sugar and water boiling on the stove. So I'm going to pour the peaches in and let them boil for 1 to 2 minutes. And then we'll pack the jars. Alright, so here are our hot peaches and syrup, our sterile jars, and we're going to start filling them. So I'm going to fill them with a slotted spoon first, just because I know how peaches cook down in the canning process. So we'll make sure as we can get as many peaches in each jar as we can. Keep packing the jars as we go. Whoops. These peaches are getting slippery. Speaking of which, if you don't know, whenever you're cutting the peaches, be very careful because they are extremely slippery. Easily bad scene. Sharp knife in a slippery object. Alright. So now that I have my jars full, I'm going to just go back and ladle the syrup into them. Making sure you keep that headspace. So I know that's the debate between cold packing and hot packing them. It's a lot easier to stuff your jars when their fruit is cool. But I can sit down and tell you how long I'm going to keep these jars. You know, as they say, the cold packing is for shorter storage time. I could get a hankering and eat the whole thing, all the jars in a month. Or I might not want peaches until the dead of winter, 6 or 8 months from now. Or for the spring. Just never can tell. That's why it's just safer to go for that extended time, in my opinion. That's what's fun about canning, is you have the knowledge and you make your decisions and you roll with it. I think they all look pretty good. So I have 9 pint jars here from those peaches. I'm going to set this extra syrup to the side here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a paper towel so I can wipe the lip of the jar real quick. Just because I know I was splashing around, and you always want your lid, the lip, to be clean. Alright, so now that my lips are clean, I'm going to go ahead and put our lids on. Now make sure you're using a pot holder or some sort now, because the jars are very hot. I'm just going to, remember, we're going to put the lids on finger tight. And we're not going to crank them down. See, I always like to put them down and then back like a half spin. That way I know for sure that they're not too tight. So I really need to find out something interesting to do with these rings. Right now I just store them, but I'm sure there has to be something. I've seen people make wreaths out of them, but there has to be something more useful to do with them, is my question. How can they work and have another purpose? That's really the question with most things when you're prepping and homesteading and surviving, is how many uses can something have? How many times can you think outside the box and find something interesting and beneficial to use things for? Alright. So now our jars are all sealed. We're going to take them over to the hot water bath, and we'll begin our process. So here we are at our hot water bath. We're going to drop them in, make sure they're completely covered with water, and we're going to let them bath for 20 minutes. So here we have our 9 pints of peaches fresh out of the water bath. We'll let them sit and cool. I hope you guys have a great day, and until next we meet, be well.